So let's go ahead and see how we'll be affected by the upcoming solar eclipse according to your element, starting with fire signs. So that's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And the overall energy for you is the Nine of Cups. So you also have the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands, you have the Moon, the Five of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. All right, so definitely could be feeling the energy if you're a fire sign. You have that fire element in your chart. So I feel like initially, this is you just kind of being chill. You're good with the situation at hand. I feel like you are at peace, and you're also just maybe confident about how things are going to unfold. So I feel like initially you are unfazed, and not just initially. It's like I feel like this will be the energy that you will try to sustain as the months progress, because as we learned, the eclipse's energies can be felt before and several months before and several months after. And then later on this year, we do have the lunar eclipse coming up. So I feel like for the most part, like I said, you're just kind of staying peaceful, as emotionally peaceful as you can. And I feel like you also have like support though. Like there are people who, maybe have your back, people who could be there to support you, give you guidance. And so that could be another reason why you feel at peace here. But as you see, there are going to be challenges emotionally. You could be triggered, dealing with a lot of past issues. And another thing, even though I see like a lot of anxiety for the next, few weeks, or a couple of months anyway, because I don't like to just like focus tarot energy for like an entire year, although I will give like a reading for up to a year, but I feel like energies still change, so this can definitely shift. But even as you're going through these emotional transitions, it seems like you are proud of yourself for how you're handling certain things that are coming up. But yeah, you do seem like you're going to be dealing with a lot of shadows, things that have been buried, things that still kind of haunt you, things that are still like a part of you that maybe you've been trying to either run away from, ignore, or escape. I feel like you're also being asked to confront a lot of things that you're dealing with emotionally. You're needing to examine that, get to the root cause of, the things that are triggering you. And I feel like it's difficult for you to deal with this. Maybe you want to remain, optimistic, confident, jolly, whatever. But it seems like there's definitely moments where you're questioning yourself. You might feel insecure about yourself in some way, shape, or form. And especially dealing with, the nines. This is about going within, inner completion. And I feel like you are just like, do I really have to do this? Do I really have to deal with this? And you also might have trouble with your sleep. So it could be jacking up your sleep pattern, for whatever reason. Maybe you're going to have to start trying to take herbal remedies to help you sleep. What are those certain teas? What's that tea? Lavender tea. And then those pills, I think is melatonin. You know what I'm talking about. But it's supposed to be like holistic ways to help yourself fall asleep. Or maybe it's also, meditation or breathing. But it does seem like it is kind of disrupting your sleep pattern. Maybe you're having like a lot of haunting dreams. Or maybe you can't really sleep. Maybe your sleep is like shallow or surface. You know that feeling when you're trying to sleep and you're sleeping, but you're kind of like aware that you're sleeping. So it doesn't really truly feel like you're rested. And so you could be dealing with things like that. And like I said, it could just be on and off. It may not necessarily be just like this ongoing thing that's happening, but these might be some of the patterns that pop up over the next few months. So sleep disturbances, and also looks like there could be issues with communication. It feels like there's a lot of frustration. Maybe you feel like you're not being heard, or maybe you feel like your words are being misinterpreted. But it also is like coming back to you. It's like the same thing. Like if you feel that way about somebody, they likely feel that way about you. And so maybe there's just a need to be more compassionate with how you deliver your message. Because it could come off as you being cold or distant or hostile. And like I said, pay attention to how, people are treating you or how people come off to you, because that might be a mirror for you. Like, hey, let me go ahead and check in with myself. Again, that 9 energy going within, and maybe you also don't want to deal with that. You're like, no, that can't be, that's not me. Don't tell me that this is how I'm coming off to people. Oh my God, And so maybe that is something that is going to be hard for you to process or deal with. But, I do feel like maybe you're needing to take ownership of your behavior and communication, especially. And, it's not like trying to reprimand you. It's just more so just like bringing this to your awareness. This is just like to prepare yourself so that you can have this inside knowledge and, prepare to have a better reaction for it. If this video is resonating, take a moment to book a reading through my website, TemajTarot.com. Again, the anxiety. You also might be harder on yourself. Like, it seems like you could feel trapped or paralyzed by your own thoughts. And it's like you're unable to progress with things because you're just constantly thinking about, why you can't or what else you need to do, or, just like being held back all by your own thoughts. Now, I know it can be easier said than done. Maybe there are things blocking you from doing things that you're needing to do. But at the same time, I feel like there's a solution. It's just that, maybe it's hard for you to see because your head is not in the right space. And it just might feel overwhelming, like dealing with so many emotions, like it might be very overwhelming. You also could find yourself becoming over emotional in front of people. And that could, I don't want to say hurt your pride, but, maybe that is how you're taking it. You're like, oh my God, my pride, and it's like, I feel like you're just trying to prevent that from happening. But, it's likely that you're needing to purge, just like purge emotionally, release whatever it is that's bothering you. It definitely looks like you're holding things in. Now, also by you keeping things to yourself could be read or taken the wrong way. Like maybe you're keeping quiet for your own protection, or you're coming off cold and distant even though everybody around you is emotional, and maybe people are looking at you like, man, you don't even care, or I notice you're not being open about certain things, like, and I feel like that might come off offensive towards people, but they don't understand that maybe you're just trying to protect yourself. Like maybe the very mention of something else happening could trigger you in some way. Like the minute you start talking about a situation, you might just get very emotional about it. So you're like, I don't want to deal with it. Just like, for instance, my sister sent a video of my mom cooking gravy for Thanksgiving. See? Oh my God. And it's like, just looking at the film for the little video for like, the first few seconds, it's like, up, nope, nope, nope. And I immediately like just shut it off. And I was like, not right now. And it's weird because it's like, I can look at her picture, I can think about her. But just like, that was like, when she was like in her prime, I guess that's the right word. Like when she was like, still functional and cooking and doing stuff on her own. I don't know. I hadn't seen her like that in so long. So that was just like, oh my God, I cannot look at that right now. So yeah, you might have a lot of things suppressed. See, and just for transparency, I am Leo rising. So fire signs, I get you. And not only that, but I have like Saturn in the ascendant. So yay me. So, heavy, creepy Saturn. Sorry, Saturn. But like seriously. So I feel like what's going on with you is that, you're just trying to suppress a lot of heavy things. And it actually could be taking a toll on you physically as well. Like trying to hold back. So let me go ahead and clarify. Hold on one second. All right, so let's go ahead and clarify. You could get really triggered by either a Capricorn, any earth sign, but especially like a Capricorn. And it's funny, again, my sister, she's Capricorn, and unintentionally shared that video, not realizing that I would get triggered like that. But maybe this is something romantic. Maybe you are still deeply attached to a Capricorn, and not only that, or any earth sign, but not only that, but this person, the things that you're feeling for them, they could potentially still feel for you, because you guys might be in sync, connected emotionally. Like there's still something binding the two of you together. You're still emotionally bound to each other, even if you're not together, or if you haven't spoken to this person. You could be picking up on a lot of their energies. You could be and it's hard to tell. Like maybe they're having a bad day, but you think you're having a bad day, and then you're having a bad day, but they think they're having a bad day. So, and you can't tell where the energy is coming from because you're so ingrained within each other. And this is like a deep soulmate connection, but it seems like it's tied to pain, because there's some sort of trauma attached to it, especially abandonment. Yeah. So yeah, you could be feeling emotionally triggered by an earth sign. Also maybe a fire sign or an air sign. Those are the strongest energies coming out. And another thing that could be very triggering for you is things dealing with your security. Not just security like confidence, but security financially. Where are you going to live? How much money is coming in? Always worried. It seems like you're always worried about the future, always worried about things that are not in your control. In fact, that might be the thing that's bothering you because you don't know what's happening tomorrow, and that's really bothering you. And it's just like, just chill. I feel like it's going to be so difficult to just like live in the moment. I feel like you want to have control. You want to fix something or prevent something before it happens, and then you just kind of get caught up into your own thoughts and can't seem to move away from that. It does seem like you're waiting for some sort of change to happen. So there's also a possibility that you were expecting something by now. Like by now you should have been in a relationship. By now you should have had that job. By now you should have had more money. And I kind of feel like you are still waiting on that moment. You're like, when is this moment coming? Like intuitively, I felt it. I had a dream. I had a premonition, weeks ago, months ago, a year ago, and it still hasn't happened, but I still feel it. So I feel like that also could be tied into, where this anxiety is stemming from. But I do feel like, changes are coming. You're just going to have to keep telling yourself to trust the process, because there's a lot of invisible things going on that's affecting you. Like you're allowing yourself to be affected by your imagination, by what could be. It's things that have not happened yet, or things that you're waiting to happen. The point is, it's like you can't see it, and so it might be driving you a little batty. So you might try to find ways to transmute this energy as well. Maybe you need a new workout routine, a new hobby, something. Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, it looks like you are trying to keep quiet about something so that you won't become emotional about it. But people are just like, why are you so quiet? Why don't you have anything to say? Why is your response so nonchalant? And it's kind of like if they only knew. And, the minute something happens where you have to speak on it, you might lose yourself emotionally. So I feel like you are just wanting to protect yourself, protect your thoughts. There are things that you're not wanting to talk about. And for some of you too, it might have something to do with not wanting to be jinxed. Yeah. Now, you also could, even if this is not something that you normally do, like maybe you're allowing things that somebody said to get to you, or like somebody is getting in your head, and you're not used to that. You're like, why is this person? How are they able to get into my head like this? And maybe it does seem kind of like your security system is down, because it's like there is like this vulnerability happening. And yeah, I feel like you're just needing to protect that. I feel like in general, there's a need to just like protect your mental peace, your mental space. Make sure you're sleeping well, get your naps in. Don't feel guilty for napping. Some people feel guilty about that, but no, get your rest in. I feel like you really need to nurture your mind, because it's like your mind is that strong, that is getting to you emotionally. Just a lot of things are going on. Yeah, and like I said, you might need to figure out a way to transmute that energy. Now, you also might need to set boundaries with someone. I don't know if someone is trying to dominate you or your decisions. Some of you don't want to deal with mortality. There could be death anxiety, where you're either worried that it's coming towards you or it's near you, or near your family, or somebody that you care about. If it's not, physical death, then it's still like this anxiety about the end of something. It's just like, oh my God, I know I'm about to lose my job. I think my hair is falling out. Oh my God, I think my car is about to die. Like, it's just whatever it is, you name it. I just kind of feel like there is this huge fear that something is getting ready to end or die. Because it's so much air though. And with the moon talking about illusions, I feel like that is all that it is thoughts. I do feel like you're needing to, maybe work on positive affirmations or manifestations. A lot of things I do too. Every time I hear information that I don't really care for, and I'm usually very strong-willed anyway, but if I do hear something that I feel like, oh no, that's about to get in my head, I usually just say I do not consent to that timeline, or I don't consent to XYZ. So I don't know why, but something about that phrase, I do not consent, just feels so powerful to me. So that's what I usually will say to myself when I'm not agreeing with something I'm hearing on the news, or something that popped up on TikTok. It's like yeah, there is definitely this anxiety about something ending or having to move, or these changes, having to go in a different direction, surgery. It also could be a literal Scorpio that you're worried about. I feel like you're also thinking about family. I'm trying to say family and legacy at the same time. Oh, thank you, Gemini Moon, for merging all my thoughts together. So yeah, it's like, I feel like you are really concerned about like, your family, also like your status, maybe to the public or maybe at work. You also might have concerns about your father or your father's side of the family, financial security, or if someone did pass away, not a prediction, talking about in the past, and there's just like concern about what was left. Like, did they leave me something? I think family members are hiding it, or it might be things like that about the family legacy or inheritance that's bothering you. And then if you are, what do you call it, phobic, what is that called? I always know that word, but I can't think of it right now. When you think that you have every disease, you might be like that, where you're just assuming that you have everything, and it's just like, oh my God, that's a symptom of Lou Gehrig's. Oh my God, like, oh, that's a symptom of cancer, that's a symptom of just whatever it is, and you just start feeling overwhelmed and overthinking, and just like, oh my God. If other people are suffering around you, you might start thinking it's contagious. Like, whatever it is, you definitely could be super suspicious and paranoid. So anytime you start thinking those thoughts, just tell yourself it's in your head. It's in your head. It's in your head. Now, of course, not saying don't go to the doctor and get yourself checked out if you are worried about things of that nature. But for the most part, you know, I just kind of feel like it's just thoughts. And sometimes thoughts are so strong that they can physically develop, turn into it like a physical manifestation of an illness. And you have like these phantom symptoms of things. And it's just like, oh, my elbow's burning, you know, and it can be that way. So hypochondriac, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so yeah, that definitely could be the case. All right, so let's do water signs. How water signs will likely be affected by the eclipse, by the solar eclipse. All right, water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Effects of the upcoming solar eclipse for the next few months. You have the Five of Cups, the Nine of Swords, Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands, Knight of Wands. Overall energy, the Three of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Lovers. All right, so I feel like you are trying to stay grounded. I feel like there are things that you're trying to organize, like you're trying to put things in place. I feel like you're also trying to tie up any loose ends or fix projects. Like it seems like you're also trying to find solutions, and you're trying to compromise, and just trying to establish some sort of peace. There is a possibility of you losing yourself trying to please other people. Now, if this is dealing with, you know, a love relationship, maybe something's going on where you're torn, or you are concerned that the person that you're with is sending mixed signals, or you're aware that they're torn between you and another person. It just seems like you want to fix a situation, and you also might be trying to pull out all the stops or find like a lot of creative ways. You're like, I know if this doesn't work, this is what I'll do. I'll do this if this doesn't work. And it just seems like you're just like trying to figure out how to make something work or all come together. Like I said, I am concerned that you start to feel like you're losing yourself, and you're like disappointed and feeling like maybe you wasted your time, or maybe you feel like you did something too little too late. You could have saved a relationship. You should have reached out when you had the chance. You should have deleted somebody when you had the chance. Whatever it is, it looks like you are just like kind of fixated on the past. I feel like you're trying to fix the past. You're like, how can I fix the past? And unless you have a DeLorean time machine, you know, there's no going back. So I feel like there is a need for you to just kind of like face the music in a sense. And it looks like you're dreading something. You're like, I really don't want to deal with this. But, you know, you have to. And you also might be lying to yourself, or avoiding a situation, trying to run away from an existing problem. You're like, I'll just, you know, avoid it. I'll just move here, or I'll pretend it doesn't exist. I'll just put a Band-Aid on this leak. So whatever it is, there is a strong possibility of self-sabotage as well. So you want to make sure that you don't sabotage your situation. But, you know, and this also, it might be something that you're unaware of. You're not aware of the things that you do that tear down your progress, or unravel it in some way. It just kind of looks like something is being unraveled. Or maybe the more you do, the worse it gets. So maybe it's like, don't try so hard. It just seems like, you could be your own villain here. Now, it is possible that there is someone in your energy, but they're manipulating your energy and not making it good for whatever reason. Again, if it's a love situation, maybe someone is trying to make you think about them. Maybe someone is doing, come to me spells. Or maybe someone is just using a law of attraction and envisioning the two of you together. Or maybe that's what you're doing. Whatever it is, it seems like it's actually unraveling, or you might be putting more work on yourself or making something more difficult. You also could be trying to turn a blind eye to someone's deception, and it looks like you're carrying the weight of lies on your back, or the weight of deception. And it could be for you, or it could be someone else. Maybe you're trying to cover for somebody and it's starting to weigh on you. You're like, I can't keep making excuses for this person's behavior. And it could be a fire sign, or it could be a Gemini. If you are trying to fix somebody, I feel like it's just hard. You don't know who you're fixing. I just feel like it's always an excuse. It's always something different. I feel like there is no solution because of deception. The foundation that is being built or established is a false one. And that may be why it's starting to crack or weigh heavily. Yeah. Even if this is not about a relationship, maybe this is about your work, and you're pretending you're going into work. You made a decision that you were just going to, pretend that you liked your job, or you were going to ignore all the red flags, all the anxiety that the job is causing you. You're just going to go in. But here you are, just miserable. You're miserable there. You're miserable when you go home. And then, you just keep telling yourself that you could do this. It's still deception. It's like, I can do this. I can get through this. And it just keeps getting more and more difficult. And so it may be that you're just needing to be honest with yourself. You don't like your relationship. You don't like what you're having to cover up. You don't like your job. Whatever it is, I feel like you're just needing to own up to it instead of being in denial, because that's just making it more and more difficult.
Wondering if they're still in contact with their ex, having to relocate unexpectedly, dreading that 9 to 5, wondering if you should stay or go? Schedule a reading with me for personal insights and advice.
You also might have some type of work that requires you to keep secrets, and maybe you don't like it. Maybe you're like, I don't want to keep up the charades. Like, I don't like this. It's bothering me. It's not sitting well with me. And that's another thing, kind of like pay attention to like what your body is saying to you, because, I feel like your body is trying to like tell you something. It's trying to scream at you, like, go in a different direction, or deal with this, or don't do that. So your body definitely could be trying to tell you what you need to do, and you're ignoring it. There also could be someone that, I don't know if this person is good news, bad news, but pay attention to how you feel when they come around. There could also be someone who is micromanaging and putting a lot of work. Someone might be lying and saying, oh, I did that, taking all the credit for the work that you're doing. Could be dealing with that as well. So, overall, I just kind of feel like, you're needing to just like get out of the past, or stop trying to fix the past, or stop trying to be like a people pleaser, stop trying to cover for people. I just kind of feel like it's just keeping you down. Now, this could also be talking about how somebody feels about you. Maybe they're stuck in the past and they can't seem to move past you. They're thinking about you all the time. They're lurking. They're stalking your social media if you have it, or going by your job, wherever you work. So it could be that as well. And somebody could be trying to, manipulate your energy. Could be that too. If you feel like your energy is being manipulated, you feel like something is pulling or draining your energy, weighing you down, I feel like you're needing to take your power back. I don't know, maybe you're just needing to use some sort of affirmation on a daily about, how you take your power back and you're in control, whatever it is that you need to do. And it also looks like you're having regrets about something that you prayed for. Maybe you feel like you prayed for the wrong thing, or the wrong person. It's like, oh, I've been praying and putting all my energy into this person. I should have been doing that for myself. So whatever the case, maybe you feel like you gave too much energy to someone else. I do feel like you are maybe upset with yourself for not trusting your own intuition, or maybe you wished you had done something sooner. You also could have been caught up in a fantasy, and you knew it was a fantasy, but you were just trying to manifest it. It's kind of like, what's that old saying about tying the camel's back? Like, you do something, but you should have still protected yourself regardless. Like, you can imagine or dream big, but also at the same time still protect yourself. You also might be stressed about any type of legal matters, legal arrangements. Yeah, you might be really concerned with things like that. You might be regretting something you agreed to or signed up for. And maybe you want to break free from some sort of contract. And then for the most part, it looks like, you feel off because your emotions are imbalanced. Like, you need to have peace, and then that will give you a peace of mind. It also could be you dreading something. Maybe it's a court date coming up, or something coming up that you just want it to be over with. And it also looks like there could be something in regards to a birthday. I don't know if you're having anxiety about a birthday. Yeah, it does look like the weight of a lie or deception is starting to like really weigh on you. You also might be feeling stuck or trapped in your situation and secretly want to escape or get away. You also could be making plans to escape. Maybe you are like packing up all your belongings and stuffing all the most important things in one bag, and you're like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to escape. I'm getting something about castles in the sky. Maybe you are building castles in the sky. But I'm thinking about sand castles. So just make sure whatever it is that you're building, you know, that it can stand the test of time. Whether you're building a relationship or a career. And there's also the possibility that either someone is coming to visit you, or maybe you've been waiting for this person to relocate if it's a long distance relationship and this person's been making excuses. Maybe now this person is finally trying to come forward and say, okay, I'm on the way, I'm leaving, and they really actually are coming. I feel like there's this growing excitement either about someone coming to visit or move towards you, or you leaving and breaking free from some sort of obligation or burden that you feel that you have. Now, in a love situation, it looks like there could be someone that is looking for you, or who wants to resolve some sort of conflict that you guys had. And I also see this as you maybe stepping into your fire energy and taking the initiative to do certain things, trying to gather information, learn things, and then like push forward, getting out of your head and taking your power back. Also, if someone comes into your life, I feel like maybe this person was meant to uplift you, or meant to restore some sort of hope or faith into your life. Yeah, especially if it's a fire sign. So yeah, for the most part, I feel like, you know, the thing that you're needing to prepare for is, you know, making sure that you're not establishing something on some sort of a flimsy foundation, and that you know, get out of the past and focus on the things that you can change now. And like I said, it does look like eventually you do start to feel more optimistic about your future. All right, so let's go ahead and focus on who is next. Air signs. All right, so Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see how you will be affected by the energies of the solar eclipse over the course of the next few months. All right, you have the Eight of Cups, the Five of Cups, oh my goodness, the Three of Swords, the Star, thank goodness, Strength, overall energy, the Four of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Emperor. Okay, so you could be feeling stuck. Maybe you keep trying to be strategic about, you know, how to move forward, or get out of a situation or leave a situation. And it seems like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of obstacles. And it's like having to do certain things one by one. Like, something is not going to be a quick fix. And another thing that could be going on, though, is that in order to take your power back, you also are needing to get out of your comfort zone. It seems like you're dealing with some sort of fixed energy, stubborn energy. There could be some sort of control issues or power struggles going on in your life. And another thing it looks like what's happening is like you being guarded or trying to cover up how you truly feel. Maybe you've got a wall up and you're just like dealing with some sort of trust issues, but it does seem like there is a big fort or a wall up. And maybe you're being just very stubborn about letting your guards down. Definitely looks like you could be dealing with some kind of sadness or depression, like you're having to let something go even though you don't feel ready to. You know that it's the best thing to do, and even after you let something go, because I feel like you're going to do it, but even after you do it, you start feeling or questioning whether or not you made the right decision. You also might keep feeling like you wasted time and energy. Like, if I had to walk away from this, then what was the point? Like, why? It just seems like you are having a moment. And so you could be dealing with a lot of heavy emotions. You also might feel either a sense of betrayal. Yeah, it feels like hurt and betrayal. And I don't know if you're upset with yourself or upset with someone else or both. But I also see this as something happening. I see this a lot of times as a situation, like something coming, intervening your situation. Like, it's very similar to the tower for me. Like, there's a third energy that is separating you from something that you're trying to hold on to. So this energy right here is like, let me just creep right in, and that will separate you from this situation or this person. So I kind of feel like something could happen beyond your control, and it's meant to sever ties. Maybe you're meant to break up with someone. Maybe you're meant to quit your job. Maybe you're holding on to a friendship that you need to let go of. But you need to let go of something so that you can heal. And then also see what the universe has in store, because here obviously you're ignoring your blessing, or you're so caught up into your own emotions that you don't even recognize something that is near or what you have. And so, but once you are released or separated from whatever it is, I feel like your blessings are going to start coming in. Something feels much more lighter. It doesn't feel heavy, like your burdens are being removed. And so, and I feel like you also become more open to what the universe has in store. And you will see that the universe has been listening to you. It's just that things have been going, it's just unfolding in a way that you didn't expect it to unfold. You wanted to receive your blessings this way, but the universe is like, no, you can have it, but that's not the way it's happening. This is how you'll receive your blessings. So at some point, I do feel like your faith is being restored. But it just seems like you're having to undergo some sort of purification. And then too, it looks like, if you have been feeling like out of sorts or weak, I feel like you're becoming stronger because of some sort of experience. And this is also just telling you that you can get through this. Like, you're strong enough. You can handle, whatever is thrown at you. You've got thick skin. You can deal with XYZ. So I feel like you'll be fine. I also feel like you have your ancestors walking with you or protecting you. Same thing. especially like your father or father figure. And not saying that nothing's happening with your mother's side, but it seems like something is coming from your father's side, like the protection. And maybe that is for whatever this particular situation is for, or whatever this particular situation is, they have been assigned to assist you with it. And you are going to receive, the help or assistance that you need. You're going to receive it, but I do feel like you're needing to let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to. This could be something like more literal, like you're holding on to old items that are valuable to you, but at the same time, you don't need them, or they don't serve a purpose in your life anymore. And so, it's like just needing to release it or let it go. It kind of makes me think of too, like when people have things like piled up in storage. And it's just like you don't have enough money to, like, stuff has been in storage for like 5 years, 6 years, and do you really need the things that are in storage? Wouldn't it be a lighter burden to just let it go? And then you don't have to worry about that anymore, or you won't have that burden on you. So in a mundane sense, it looks like someone might literally be holding on to their storage, and there may be a need to just like let that go, and maybe just trust that the memories can live with you. Yeah. So for you, yeah, I feel like you're meant to release. And you also might need to give something away. Like maybe you're hoarding something, and it's just like, why are you hoarding that? Like, give it away. You don't need it. This person needs what you're hoarding on to. Give it to them. Yeah. You could be watching someone walk away. Maybe you're feeling betrayed by someone, especially maybe a fire sign. But it also looks like you, are starting to see something from a different perspective. It's like the more you think about something, you're asking if something is right or if something is fair. Maybe you're trying to decide whether or not a decision that you're making is the right one, but it still kind of feels like the longer you hold on to something, or the longer you take to decide, at some point that third energy is like intervening your situation and removing you. It's like trying to let you do it on your own, but at some point we're stepping in and we're going to remove you from this situation. Yeah, I feel like your intuition is telling you that something is the right thing to do, or it's best for you to move on from something or someone. So the eclipse could be helping you to realize what you need to let go of and the things that have been weighing you down. And if you have been in a situation where you were like, should I stay or should I go? It feels like you're deciding to go. You might be feeling guilty about something. It also feels like you're having a hard time dealing with change. But something is just like destined or meant for you. But it's difficult. Just like, it's kind of like trying to hold on to summer. And it's just like, I really love summer. I don't, no, stop fall or stop winter. Don't come. And it's just like, I'm sorry, but I have to come. Like, I can't just stop. And then, it's like, and that's just, of course, an example, but it is kind of like maybe struggling with something that is a part of life, or it's just natural. But you know, it's making it more difficult by you fighting against it. You also might have some sort of a dream, like you receive some sort of message in a dream and it's telling you, you know, don't do this or this is what you should do. So I would say also look for some sort of guidance to come through in a dream. For some of you, I feel like it's also hard to let go because it looks like it's something that you worked really hard on. And so part of it is ego. If you're dealing with any type of grief, it might feel like it's just lingering. Yeah, and whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I feel like that's also kind of like a lesson that you're having to learn. And there could also be someone that is giving you encouraging words, or someone that is like helping you let go or move on from something that is just so difficult for you to let go of. You might be worried that something was done in vain, but I don't feel like it was. Yeah. And it looks too like this can be about moving, like maybe you really did not want to move or relocate, but at some point you realize that you just need to go ahead and let go, like that home served its purpose. Also, I kind of feel like you're needing to be mindful of your actions, because you could receive like instant karma. And I know some people don't like to think of karma that way, but sometimes it does seem like that's what's happening. Like one thing happened, and then here is, you know, the results of your actions. So yeah, be mindful of what you're doing or your intent behind it. Something does look like justice being served. It also could be that a situation is the result of trying to outsmart the universe. It kind of looks like someone is trying to get away with something. Now, on a positive note, it could just be that someone is like trying to be anonymous when they're helping or giving something away, and it's just like, oh, I don't want to be known, I don't want to be recognized, but I want to help, or I want to give this away. So it could be that someone just doing the right thing but not wanting to be recognized for it. Now, the negative sense, it kind of looks like maybe someone is like mixing truth and lies together. So something is, the energy is kind of hard to read. If this is about wondering whether or not somebody is cheating, I mean, it is possible that, you know, it comes to the light of what they're doing, or maybe it's revealed in a dream. Maybe this person is trying to explain to you something, or trying to justify why they cheated or why they lied about something, but that's not the full story. I don't know. I feel like somebody is like saying that they're telling the full story, but they're still maybe keeping something out. And it could be for good reason or not. But I feel like somebody is like, they're sharing a lot, but also keeping something. It's like, well, I'll tell them this, but of course I'm not going to tell them that part. Or like if somebody was like, yeah, I cheated, but you don't need to know the details. It seems like there's something significant in regards to a fire sign, especially Leo. It could be that this person is like your rock, or this is the person that is trying to help you. I feel like there is, despite what you're going through, there is someone in your corner. There is someone helping you through a difficult situation. Yeah. And like I said, it seems like it could be a father or father figure, but it could still be, a mother or a mother figure, but definitely coming off as like masculine energy. All right, and now finally we will move on to how earth signs will be affected by the eclipse. All right. How will earth signs be affected by the eclipse, the solar eclipse? So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising over the course of the next few months. Okay, you have the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Moon, Three of Swords, King of Pentacles, overall energy, Queen of Swords, Eight of Cups, and the Two of Cups. All right, so for you, it could be that there is someone significant in your life, especially air sign, but also could be a Pisces or another earth sign. But I don't know, it kind of feels like maybe the eclipse is helping you to realize how deeply you love someone. Maybe you had to walk away from someone or someone walked away from you. And maybe now there is a need to try to figure out how to make something work or how to heal. Either way, it seems like you let something go. Maybe you were feeling empty or lost, and now this is you trying to fix it. You're like, I can fix this this void that I'm dealing with. I can fix it. And so it looks like that's what you're focused on doing. You might find yourself like really focusing on work or studying. Maybe you're trying to go back to school. I feel like you're trying to reset something, like something shifted in your life and now you're just trying to like reset something and trying to, resolve whatever it was that fell apart. This also could require you having to make arrangements or negotiations with someone, compromise. I feel like even though you are finding a solution or you're determined to find a solution, there are still moments where you are stressed and dealing with a lot of anxiety. If this is about rebuilding a relationship, it's like having to rebuild that trust and maybe dreading it a little bit. Just worried about like, are the same problems going to happen again? If this person abandoned you, maybe you're like, are they going to abandon me again? It might be a situation where you feel like you're both drawn to this person, but at the same time, you don't want to get hurt again. You don't want to let them go fully. Or you let them go, but it's still that fear of if you're working things out, will it happen again? That's like one of the main things that I just keep picking up on is someone afraid that they'll be hurt again. And that it seems like you're trying to work through that. You might be journaling or trying to figure out the root cause of some sort of pain that you're dealing with. You're like, why am I still, stressing about this person not being here, or the fact that this person abandoned me? And maybe it's not even abandonment issues of something romantic. Maybe, your mom abandoned you or your dad. But whatever it is, I feel like you're trying to figure out why it happened and just trying to fix or find a solution. it looks like you're having to believe in yourself. It does look like something is like renewed. So whatever this is, it looks like you do, fix it. You're like, okay, I feel new again. I feel worthy again. I feel valuable. It feels like you're having to find something within yourself as opposed to having some sort of outside validation. Now, you also might be struggling with career and maybe wanting to work your dream job. Maybe you're working part-time somewhere and it's something that you're not wanting to do, and you just, you're feeling conflicted, and it could be affecting you mentally, like this job. And ultimately, though, it looks like you do decide to either leave the job or at least take some sort of a break so that you can get yourself back together. You are going to start to feel whole again if you've been feeling incomplete, and not necessarily saying that it's the person that's going to help you feel whole, but I feel like you are going to have like some sort of an understanding of why you've been feeling broken or empty or whatever. You also might have a habit of wanting to fix people that are broken. Maybe you're trying to figure out why you're attracted to that type of person. Either way, I feel like, with this eclipse, is still bringing things from your subconscious to your conscious mind. And it's just like a difficult thing to do. It's like painful. You're like, I don't want to think about, this because it hurts me. It hurts too much. But that is all part of the healing process. In fact, maybe you do need to sever ties with whatever type of work that you're doing if it's not fulfilling. Or maybe you keep trying to work on a relationship that isn't fulfilling and decide that you need to just like stop and work on yourself first. It's like, let me go back to the drawing board. Let me find my worth. Let me see why I feel worthy and who is allowed to be in my space. And so in a sense, it seems like you're having to reevaluate who you allow to come into your life or the type of people that you surround yourself with. You are also needing to, finish any things that you left on the back burner. I feel like this is about completing things. I feel like you need to complete projects. You need to complete paperwork. You need to complete things that you left behind. You need to deal with it. You also could have started on a book. Maybe you were writing a memoir and it was too painful to write. Might be time to go back to it. I do feel that maybe work is going to be therapeutic for you, or studying. It feels like you are dealing with something privately. You're working on something, you don't want anyone to know what it is that you're working on. And especially too, if this is working on your emotional well-being, or you're trying to heal from a breakup or whatever. I feel like you want to do it in private. You're like, I don't want to open a curtain for people to see my pain, or for people to see what I'm going through or how I'm suffering. Also, if someone is trying to get to know you, I feel like there are so many layers to get through. Definitely feels like someone could be dealing with a very complicated situation or person. Like you might have tons of walls just built up, and this person would have to be very patient with you. Something also feels like you literally have like a secret hideout. Like you have like this little fort or something It just feels like you go in this place and you hide to be with your own thoughts, to resolve your own issues. I feel like you also could be dealing with a lot of sleepless nights. Something definitely could be waking you up out of your sleep. It could be stress, anxiety, but it seems like something could be waking you up at night. Spiritually, you could be attracting or having paranormal experiences. There is a possibility of someone who's no longer here trying to communicate with you, especially if it is a loved one as opposed to just a random spirit. It may be a loved one that's trying to communicate with you. Maybe you're trying to ignore that or telling yourself that what you're seeing isn't real. You also might feel as if you're being spiritually attacked at times. And so you might try to do things to set boundaries or create some sort of protective barrier. You might literally be having anxiety about your career or your job or finances. I do feel that something might be worse in your mind than what you think it is. Like in your mind, it's going to be worse, but it's not going to be as bad. There also may need to be peace made between you and an air sign or you and a fire sign or both. That also could be something that has been haunting you or eating away at you, is like not feeling like you haven't made peace with these people. I feel like you also have anxiety about an agreement or an arrangement, but things are going to work itself out. I don't know what it is exactly, but I do feel like people are going to be able to come together to, a happy agreement. Spiritually, you could be concerned about like soul contracts and karmic debts. Either way, it still seems like it will be resolved. You are going to also understand some sort of a lesson. You're going to understand why something happened the way it did. Maybe you couldn't see it before because you were still in the thick of it. But one day I do feel like you're going to understand why things had to be that way. When it comes to love, it does seem like choosing yourself over other people. It seems like maybe that is like the best bet. It also could be you just needing to take a break from your friends as well. Even if your friends don't understand your decision, they're like, well, why can't we be a part of the healing process? But, maybe this is something that you need to do alone or by yourself. So I feel like this is all about healing yourself and becoming whole again. So yeah, I feel like the eclipse is helping you become whole again. Yeah, things are going to be much better for you. If there was needing to be some sort of peace made between you and said individuals, it looks like that's happening. There could definitely be communication, healthy communication between parties. If you've been patiently waiting to talk to someone, I feel like you're going to have that opportunity, and it seems like there is so much that needs to be said from the both of you. And it just seems like you guys are both just kind of like going back and forth and able to hear each other. Yeah. So I do feel like things are going to get back to normal. You're definitely learning more about patience and the things that you value the most, especially being yourself. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful. Feel free to leave your feedback. If you need a personal reading, I'm there for you. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Sending you love and grace.